What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Ratch Report. It is time to talk about the Toronto Raptors, who are surprising a lot of people and have won 2 games in a row. And don't look now, but it looks like they may just not only make the play-in, but might just be a 7-8 seed by the time the season ends. So I will be discussing the Toronto Raptors' recent success, including some players as well. So if you're ready to watch, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you wish to hit the subscribe button as well, that'd be very much appreciated. Also, guys, very excited to announce I am now on Spotify. So if you're like me, where you're driving and you're stuck in traffic or you're going for a long drive and you want to listen to some nice Raptors content, don't forget to check out my Spotify. I will leave it in the comments section below. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. And the shout out for today's video goes out to Sean. So Sean, thank you so much for supporting this channel through your likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. Now, we cannot deny that the Raptors have looked like a completely different team ever since Scottie Barnes has returned from injury. In fact, taking a look at some of the stats here, since Scottie Barnes has returned, the Raptors have played 7 games. In those 7 games, they have a record of 4 wins, 3 losses, and they have averaged 112.7 points per game, but also given up 100 only 110 points per game. So when people talk about Scottie Barnes, everyone talks about his offensive side, but he's really had a positive impact on the defensive side as well. And I wanted to quickly highlight what 110 points allowed per game would get you in the NBA if the Raptors were to get better at defense. As we know, currently they rank in the bottom of the league, top five, bottom of the league in terms of points allowed per game. But 110 points in the 7 game sample size is a decent sample. Again, hopefully the Raptors keep improving, but 110 right now would give you where the Golden State Warriors are, and that would be eighth in the NBA in terms of points allowed per game. The Raptors, we know, have a good offensive system in Darko with ball movement, but if they're able to really lock down their defense and improve in terms of just not allowing opponents to score a ton of points, then it helps the Raptors win a ton of games. The Raptors currently are on a 2 game winning streak, and Scottie Barnes has been massive in those 2 games as well. But most importantly, the Raptors are climbing the standings. So taking a look at the standings here, again, as I said, the Raptors may be surprising a lot of people, including myself. I had them ranked about 12th, 13th, 11th. I did have them making the play in one of my standings predictions, but the Raptors currently have 7 wins and 15 losses. They have currently won 2 games in a row and stand only 2 games back of the team they just beat, the Indiana Pacers, for the 10th and final play-in spot for the play-in tournament. And again, when you look at some of the teams ahead, you take a look at teams like the Miami Heat. What is going to happen with someone like Jimmy Butler? I personally think they could very well trade him. I don't know if they plan on paying him a ton of money when his contract comes up. And you take a look at Bulls and Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets have a lot of veterans that are going to sell off. So I don't expect them to, perform as well as they have. And Chicago Bulls, whether or not someone's going to take Zach LaVine's contract, there's no doubt that there will be a lot of teams looking to not only absorb, but really want Nikola Vucevic, who's had a spectacular season. So not only are the Raptors very close to making the play-in tournament if they continue to play very well, they also have a handful of teams above them that may just trade off a lot of parts, which will cause a lot of changes in the standings, and the Raptors will definitely be climbing up as well. Now, it's also important to note RJ Barrett as well. He's had a lot of criticism. I see it on Twitter a lot, but one aspect of RJ Barrett's game that no one really discusses is the fact that how humble he has been this entire process. When we talk about Scottie Barnes, we know he's the leader of this, but Scottie Barnes has been out with injury for a ton of games this season. And in those games, RJ Barrett has really carried the Raptors offense at times. We know he's a good shot creator. We know he's someone that can score a ton of points. But one part of his game that not a lot of fans, including myself, saw coming was the fact that his facilitating has really improved this season. You saw a lot of games where Jakob Poeltl had 20 plus points a game, 25 plus points a game, and that's not normal for Jakob Poeltl. And the reason was the pick and roll game with RJ Barrett has been excellent, but also how much defenders are attracted to RJ because of his high scoring ability, which ultimately, he made some really nice passes to Jakob, and his stats numbers prove that. He's averaging 6.5 assists per game this season, and that's been a really impressive part about RJ. But most importantly, guys, most importantly with RJ, even with Scottie returning, is the fact that RJ doesn't really have that ego about him. He hasn't really come out and said, he's not trying to prove himself to be the number one guy. He has said it multiple occasions. This is Scottie's team. Scottie's a superstar. And you need those kind of players on your team. When players understand their role, That's what makes a team successful, particularly with a young team like the Toronto Raptors. There's nothing worse than players that come in and everyone's role is just scattered all over the place, which was the case with previous roster, which is why they played as poorly as they did. With a roster like this, the Raptors understand who the leader is, and then all of the other players realize that they are going to be second, third, fourth, and fifth in terms of pecking order as well. So that's very important. But in terms of some of the surprise players, we are talking about the Toronto Raptors, and who has really surprised me as this rookie that a lot of people did not expect to play as well as he has. And this is no other than Jamison Battle. Now, of course, the Raptors rookie, as Jamal Shed has had his moments, Jonathan Mogbo has looked impressive, and of course, our rookie Jacoby Walter, who's been out with injury, has had his moments as well. But Jamison Battle, when you look at the way he carries himself on the court, you would think he's a 5-year veteran. He really carries himself well. But in terms of some of the stats here, I do want to point to the stats as well. I mean, this guy's 6'7", 220 pounds, provides good size for a team that really needs it. But he's also an older rookie, 23 years old, went undrafted, signed a two-way contract with the Raptors and he's having himself quite this season, 6.2 points per game, 2.1 rebounds. But the most important thing I do want to highlight that stat that's not here. He's only taking about 4 shots a game. And, on that, he's averaging 6.2 points. He's shooting really well from the field, averaging 46.7% from the field, shooting 41.2% from the three-point line, and shooting 81.8% from the free throw line as well. So again, when you look at Jamison Battle, the one thing that really impresses me about his game is the fact that he's not trying to force his game. I know he's an older rookie, but what you see from him on the court, forget the stats just for a moment. What really impresses me about Jamison Battle is when you look at his demeanor, you look at his face, he doesn't look panicked. He has a calm demeanor. He's playing level-headed, and he's not forcing his game. Even last game, he only took about 2 shots in the 13, 14 minutes he played, which just tells you he plays within the system. He plays within himself, and he's not trying to force his game a lot, which is really impressive to see. But the one player I do definitely want to talk about is a player that not a lot of people has expected to play as well as he did, and has been quite a pleasant surprise for a lot of people this season. And this player is no other than Ochai Agbaji, who has been a pleasant surprise for the Toronto Raptors this season. He has been playing good defense, but most importantly, his offensive game has changed completely. Taking a look at his stats here, you'll notice he's nearly doubled his point production from 6.7 points last season to 12 points this season. Everything across the board has really doubled. When you take a look at his three-point shot, most importantly, that is a very important aspect to talk about his game because, you have Scottie Barnes on this team, you have RJ Barrett on this team, both like to attack the basket quite a bit. Both aren't great three-point shooters, so you need a lot of complementary role players, and Ochai has been one of those, who's been shooting the three-point ball exceptionally well. In fact, so exceptionally well that he's increased his three-point percentage about 26%. And not only that, he's increased it while also increasing the volume of shots he's taking from the three-point line. That normally isn't the case. When you see a lot of three-point shooters take more shots than previous seasons, normally you'll see their percentages go down, but that is quite impressive in itself. He took 2.6 three-point shots last season with the Toronto Raptors. This season, he's attempting 4 shots a game from the three-point line and shooting 47.1%. 47.1%. And his shooting across the board has just completely changed. Again, shooting 53% from the field. Similarly, he's increased the amount of shots he's taking, 8.9 field goal attempts per game this season. Last year, he attempted 6.8 field goal attempts and shot only 39%. And this season, I mean, this is absolutely such an incredible story for Ochai to do what he's doing from the free throw line. Again, he's increased, his free throw percentage as well. He shot 61% from the free throw line last season. This season, he's shooting 70% from the free throw line. So when we talk about the Raptors' success, and, I think they'll continue to get better as they get healthier as well. It's important to note, obviously Scottie Barnes is playing exceptionally well, even despite the fact that arguably two of the best shooters on the Raptors squad are out due to injury, Grady Dick and Emmanuel Quickley as well. So this Raptors season has been such a interesting season to say the least. And this will really be defined, next couple games as well, because you got some really difficult opponents coming up, and you got Oklahoma City Thunder coming up, Dallas Mavericks, and then you got the New York Knicks as well. So we'll see what happens. But as always, guys, there will be a trivia question here for you guys today. So let's talk about our trivia question for today. And since we're talking about Jamison Battle, let's talk about which college did Jamison Battle play for? Was it A, Kansas? Was it B, Baylor? Was it C, Ohio State, or was it D, Texas? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So let me know your thoughts on the Raptors' recent success. Do you think they can make the play-in tournament? Let me know all of these thoughts down below. And again, don't forget to check out my Spotify. I will be uploading my daily videos on there as well, and all the videos I'm making. I'll be a little bit more consistent moving forward. So again, thank you guys for your support. And that will be it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.